Hey guys, we're going to talk a little bit about golf club design and how it relates to an open club face. And my personal opinion, from what I've done through all of my instruction and just through observation, I think an open club face with a swing that requires a lot of velocity is the worst thing you could absolutely do. And I think it's the cause for people that jump around from method to method. They're never really satisfied with what they're doing, and they might play golf good for a little while, part of the time, and then the other part of the time they're struggling trying to figure out what's going on. So my advice would be just look at what your club head is actually doing in the golf swing. I think it is crucial to playing at a high level or a consistent level. Okay, now you can play with an open club face. We know your short game is used, it's employed a lot. I use it, but with a shot that requires a lot of velocity, if you have an open club face, you're going to be in a constant state of fighting that club face and trying to square it up. So you notice the club is on an incline. It's designed this way. You have a club head on this side of the shaft. Okay, anytime this club head gets in line with it or behind it, you're going to be trying to square that club face up in some form or fashion. And what you do on this end of the club is going to have the opposite effect on the other end of this club. So you have to keep that in mind. So I believe the golf swing works in a pendulum type motion. I believe really good golf swings have a fluid type motion. You can call it a double pendulum or whatever you want to call it. It's evident with good players and people that swing the club really well. So regardless of what methodology you use, if you have an open club face, you're going to struggle. So if you make the golf swing in a pendulum type motion, if it was straight up and down, and you have your base nice and solid and the club is doing this, it returns every time. That face doesn't open. It just returns where it should every time, with the club face on this side of the shaft. Now, if this club face is open, I can do it. Like some people will promote a folding or toe up in their swing. I'll do that. I'll turn it toe up and swing it in a pendulum. Yep, that club works in a pendulum type motion, but guess what? The club face is wide open. So that's not good. But we know golf is on an inclined plane, just like this shaft. That's why I promote swinging on the shaft plane. So if we put this on an inclined plane, the way I'm advocating, I'll go up. I'll put a little rotation, my spiral that I do. I'll go up. That club squares up. See that? It'll square up and it goes around the corner. To somebody that's not used to seeing this, if they look back at their club face, they're going to think, man, that face is so shut. But you have to realize you are turning with a shot. You're putting a spiral in the shot like this. See, it's going to square up every time. Whereas if I go toe up like this and go, that club face will never square up. So you're going to have to do some type of thing on this end of the club, which is typically rolling or doing something that is just not natural. And you're going to be try to catch the face up on a constant basis. A lot of people are never aware of this, and they do it subconsciously. And that's when you see people that look like they put a lot of hit into their swing. They may take large divots. They have to manipulate this end of the club in some form or fashion. So this is why I advocate the hinging of the golf club like I do. And I swing it on that shaft plane, or try my best to. If you notice, that club face cannot open. The only way it can open is if I roll that. If I roll my arms. If it rolls and I swing it pendulum-like, I'm gonna have to roll my forearm that way to get it squared up. I'm never fighting this golf club. because I keep that clip face on this side of the shaft at all times. Now, toe up is borderline. We see some pros that do this, but they hit thousands of balls every day, and there's a reason for why they do that, but they're able to dedicate thousands of hours to this. A weekend golfer, most amateurs simply do not have the time to try to learn how to square that club face up with an open club face. So we are working it like that. The hinge, if you notice, that face will never go that way unless I roll my arm open. I'm just keeping it hinging. If I hinge this hand to the back of this forearm, it'll go in the place it needs to go every single time, right on that plane. And this club will work like it's designed to work. I'm not fighting physics. I'm not fighting what my hand does naturally. I have the club on plane. I have a good radius. I have a good low point. I have all the things that I need in the golf swing. I can maintain that pendulum type motion. And usually when you see somebody that has a violent looking type swing or a real herky jerky type swing, it's because that club face is open and they're trying to get it square. They're doing something to manipulate it. And so if you're somebody that plays good half the time you don't, I would look at this. I would really I would film myself and I would look at that club face, because that could be the culprit that's causing you problems. Many people never figure this out. They will jump from method to method, and they may hit it good for a few days, but when they go play in a tournament or play under pressure or really put it to test, it'll always show its ugly face. It'll show up on the golf course at the worst time. What I'm doing has been vetted for 5.5 years now. And when I figured this out, I was able to go from a low handicap scratch golfer to a +5 golfer in within about a 5-year period, because I've learned this about the club face. I don't have to fight with this face in my golf swing. Plus, you're going to have a better chance of having the right kind of loft on the club, dynamic loft. You're not going to have a lot of loft added to the club. And the benefits way outweigh an open club face. So everything I do has a reason. It has a reason why I do it. It's not just fly by the night, make up stuff every day as I go along. This has been vetted over and over in tournaments. It holds up day after day. An open club face is not going to hold up day after day, okay? And so just something to think about, and we'll catch you next time.